Hi, I'm Aditi. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all about my design process in Figma. Before I start building anything, I like to understand the visual direction, the vibe, the typography, the colors, and how the overall layout of the app should be. I'm going to walk you through a full design file for a complete app and talk about how the design changes and evolves throughout the development process. This video is part of my app building series, which I'll link down below, but you can watch this totally on its own if you just want to see how I approach product design. Let's jump right into it. Every design starts with expectations. Reverie, the app I'm building in the series, is warm, calming, and personal because it stores people's memories. So the UI can't be loud, sharp, or corporate. The goal is for it to feel like a journal that you want to return to. Now that we've defined a vibe, we can go ahead and find some fonts that fit it. So I'm right here on Google Fonts. In my head, I'm thinking that we should find a serif font for headings and a sans serif font for the body text so that the app maintains a clean and minimal feel. So for serif, with Google Fonts, it's really easy. You just go ahead on this left and you can pick between different styles of serif fonts. So I think transitional would be cool. For this app, I would definitely look through this set of fonts. I think modern as well and old style. Now I'm going kind of fast because I already did pick out the fonts when I was designing this app initially, but I'm just going to show you guys the different ways that I would usually start by doing it. So yeah, I look through these filters and I try to find something that is usually like a variable font because those are easier to modify in terms of like, okay, there's like an italic version, there's like a bold version, there's like different types of bold versions. So I stick to those and let's say, like, let me just go ahead and find the font that I actually picked. So it's called Laura. And again, it's like a very minimal serif font. As you can see, it also defines it up here, vintage. But yeah, all right. So now that I have my serif font picked, what I usually like to do next is look up some font pairings that go with the font. So I usually do Laura and font pairings. Okay, so Figma actually has their own document on this because it's a Google font, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna look at Typewolf because that's usually what I consult for my font pairings. Yeah, so it provides you with like similar fonts as well as like a suggested font pairing. So I'm just looking through these examples. I think this looks really cool. I think Proxima Nova has the vibe that I'm looking for in terms of like a very like easy to read minimal sans serif font. But again, I would pick it if I didn't already have one picked out. Yeah. If you find one of these fonts and you find that they are not free, it's really easy to find free alternatives. You can just look up, like in this example, Proxima Nova free alternative, and there will be lots of similar fonts that sort of look the same. As you can see, like this website right here is just telling you. Yeah. Okay, so the other font that I picked, actually, if I can show you guys, called Work Sans. Yeah, so it has that same, it matches that font really well. Okay, now after we figure out the fonts, the next thing that I like to do is think about the color scheme. With the color scheme, I have sort of an untraditional approach to it. Now, in my mind, right, like we have these expectations listed out for the fonts, for the app itself. Again, warm, minimal, inviting. When I think of colors that match that, I think of maybe brown as like a safe color and cream as another like subtle, nice background color. So I have two colors in my brain, right? It's like one primary color that I might use for the text, and that's like a dark brown, and then one background color that's a cream that's like more for the background and highlights and things like that. So what I do next actually is I go to Gemini, and I'm just gonna go ahead and describe the app really quickly. Very, very concise description. So maybe it's like, okay, I'm building an AI powered memory app that allows users to journal their memories. I want the vibe to feel calm and inviting. That's not correct grammar, but it's fine. To feel calm and inviting, and minimal. All right, and then we can describe the colors that I was talking about. So primary colors, I'm thinking a deep brown, and light cream for the background. Generate a main color scheme. And then I think what helps a lot with design is to have like, okay, so these are my two primary colors, right? The brown and then the light cream. It helps to have different variations of those, because you're gonna find like really quickly that you don't wanna keep making new colors when you could just have like, okay, a darker version or a lighter version. And you kind of want to keep that consistent across your whole design, so that later when it comes to you actually coding the app out, it's really easy to just define like, okay, like this is the darkest brown, this is a dark brown, this is a light brown. It comes in handy later. So I'm going to say generate a main color scheme that contains variations of these two main colors, as well as some accents. For the accents, I think we want something that's not too bright. So I don't want like a vibrant orange or something like that. Maybe like pastel colors. So we can write that down as well. So pastel colors. I think that's good enough. We can just send this prompt and see what it comes up with. Oh, maybe I should specify. Here we go. Give me some hex codes for the main color scheme. Yeah, there we go. We're just gonna scroll past this filler content. Okay, so now that we have this hex code, we can actually go ahead and look at it here. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy this, and I have Figma open, so here we go. I'm gonna create a new frame in Figma, so we can come down here. Actually, yeah, we can create a new frame. I'll make a custom frame. And this is just gonna be like our color palette. I'm just gonna write down like our main reference files, or sorry, our reference like swatches, so that we can like regularly go back to it. So here we go. I'll make a nice box for us. It's like 50 by 50. And then we can give it a background color. Okay, I think that's a nice brown. I think it's pretty similar to the one that I picked. Maybe it's a little lighter actually. Let's go and look. Yeah, here we go. So this is what mine looked like in the end last time. I'll get rid of that. Here. This is the actual full design file that I did for the series. This is essentially what I came up with. I think I picked a deeper brown because I wanted it to contrast a little bit more with the cream background. And then I just kind of did like 3 different shade variations of it. And then these are the shade variations of the background, and these are the accent colors that I came up with. But yeah, I did this the exact same way that I just showed you guys, by going through and asking Gemini and doing some iterations. I'll just go ahead and usually just like paste this in, and then I'll like check some things, change some things like directly in Figma. Like again, I mentioned how I didn't like how this felt a little bit too light for me, so I would probably just go in, and I think it's also too much on the reddish orangish tone for me. So what I would do is I would just like, okay, drag this around until I feel like happier with it. I think this is better. You can be more precise with it, obviously. You can go, that's gradient, I'm so sorry. No, yeah, you can be more precise with it, like for sure. Like I'll usually go into HSB and then change the different, so that it moves a little bit more and feels a little bit better. But yeah, that's how I pick a color palette. So sticking to this color scheme, I'm just gonna copy this over. There we go. I'll make this a little bigger. There. Okay, so this is the color scheme that we're gonna stick to as we design. Now, those are my first 2 steps knocked out. I'll actually put the fonts down here as well so that we can see, because usually I do have the fonts. I'm gonna call this heading, and then we can type in Laura. There we go. And I'll bring the font size up. That's probably too much. There we go. 36 sounds good. Okay, so there's my heading, and then I'm just gonna do body text, just for us to see what these fonts look like next to each other. Now sometimes I like pick fonts individually, and then I found that I don't really like them when they're together, but it's just a lot of playing around. So here, there, yeah. And I think these 2 are, yeah, we'll just change them to our actual color back here, and we can actually make this one our background color as well. So that's the general vibe, and I think I really like this pairing together. But yeah, that's how I usually go through and test these colors as well. Okay, now to actually begin designing, I start by looking for inspiration. I feel like there's a lot of free resources online where you can go ahead and you never have to start fully from scratch. So I'm gonna show you guys my process with that. Okay, so I'm on Dribbble right now. What I'm gonna look for first is figuring out our auth flow, right? So our register login situation. I think later I might want to build out an onboarding flow as well that maybe sets the user up, but we can definitely get to that later. I think login and register is super important, and they're kind of like the same screen. You just have to change a little some things. So let's jump straight into that. I'm gonna type in minimal login mobile, and we'll just see what comes up. Okay, so we have some options here. Let me see. I like this design, the idea of having it be rounded. I think for our purposes, an app with like rounded corners makes a lot of sense, because to me that feels a little bit more, I don't want to say inviting. I'm trying to think of something that's like, it feels, I think it matches the vibe of the app a lot more. It's not, I feel like sharp corners gives off a different energy. So I think that's pretty cool. Let me see what else we have here. This looks interesting as well. This is sort of like the onboarding thing, but I think these all have a lot going on that I'm not really into. Okay, I think this one is good. So the first thing that I like to do is pick the actual frame. I'm gonna pick the 16. I don't usually pick the pro versions. I think it gives you a little bit too much to work with. All right, so let's call this like our onboarding. I mean, it's just like one screen for right now, but that's good enough. Yeah, all right. Let's jump in and find one thing that I really like to use is this iOS and iPadOS components. These come included in your Figma files, and they basically have all of the different like iOS specific or iOS native components that you would need. What I really use this for is to put in the menu bar and the status bar, just so that like you get a good sense of feeling as to where they are, because you don't want to design, you don't want to have your design be too close to those things and sort of encroaching on that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and find it. I'm pretty sure it's here in product bezels. Oh wait, yeah, they have this one too. I don't know if I use this. Let me see. Okay, I didn't. I just made it like a normal rounded frame. We can do that too. Anyways, I just want to find the status bar. There we go. So status bar. I'm just gonna insert this here. And we can stick it directly on this. There. And then what we need is the bottom home indicator. I think that's what it's called. Indicator? There. Yeah. Okay. So this as well. We're just gonna push this to the bottom of our frame. Yeah, and that looks good. I'm just gonna take both of these layers and put them inside onboarding so I can center everything. And then what I do is I just lock these because I don't want to touch them ever again. So I'm just gonna lock this one and lock this one. There, perfect. Final thing, I'm just gonna round the corners a little bit. I'm just gonna go back to the reference though, because I don't remember how much I rounded it. Okay, 40. All right, we can round it 40. There. Okay, so this is our basic frame. We're just gonna copy this. I'm gonna have this maybe as a reference, just in case. All right, okay. We have our color palette and we have our fresh, brand new screen. Okay. All right. So first things first, we're gonna do it like this part, this particular window where we have like a button for login and a button for sign up. So again, we don't have to have everything super finalized at the moment. Ideally, we'd want a graphic in the middle of the screen, but it's okay that we don't have one right now. What I am gonna do is go back to my reference here, because I actually did design this one using Gemini. It's just a placeholder logo. So I'm gonna take this and I'll just paste it in the middle here. This is, again, this could just be a normal circle. I just feel like it looks better if it's like that. Okay, great. I'm gonna change the background on this to be our pale cream color. Okay, we have our circle. Now we can get started. We need one sort of, not a rectangle, one call to action text, something like that. So we can say, all right, here are memories, a tap away. It doesn't really matter, it's just some type. Okay, so again, our font, Laura. I don't want it to be bold, I think regular is just fine. We can change this color right here, and I'm gonna bring up space, and then we can just enter over here. There. One thing that I always have to fix is the line height. I always set it to auto, unless like I seriously want some space, but auto usually does a pretty good job. Okay, so your memories a tap away. We can have some lorem ipsum for our text in the middle. I'm gonna switch to work sans and then make it an adequate size. Oh, where did it go? Here, we can call it. I'll just copy and paste this a couple times because there, and then we'll just enter that. That might be too much. There. So this text, I think we can make it a little bit smaller as well. And we can probably dull the text color. So that's why these variations come in handy, because you can easily pick a consistent color that you're gonna use for your lighter, more secondary text. So in this case, I'm gonna go with this second option that I have here. Okay, that's our text. Now we wanna design our buttons. The spacing right now, I'm gonna leave it to whatever it is. Later, I'm gonna go ahead and be more intentional about the spacing. Yeah, okay. Let's make our button. So here. And then we just want to up the corner radius. I think 20 is good. And then we can give it our background color. And we just need to put a text in the middle. So maybe we say get started. In our work sans. Whoa, this is huge. Let's do 18. And then stick that right there in the middle. We can push this to have our cream background color. And then just to keep things less confusing, I like to group, especially buttons and text together. I think it helps a lot later on. So grouping that. And then we can do maybe a piece of text underneath this that's like, okay, already have an account, sign it. So already have an account. There we go. Let me just stick that in the middle. I think we should gray this one out a little bit more, maybe. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, design is a lot of trial and error. Okay, I'm happy with that. I think that's good. I think it looks like there's too much white space on the top. Let's see what we can do with that. I think this as well. So maybe instead of keeping it to auto, we can do like 34, or let's keep it 36. Yeah, that looks good. I'll push this closer to this. So this is 18 away from this, right? So maybe I'll make this one, I'm pressing Option or Alt, by the way, to see the spacing between items. That really helps, actually. That's one of my most used Figma shortcuts. So 18, maybe I'll make it 15, there. And then between this and this, that's fine. And then we'll do 18, I think, for this as well. There, that's, or probably a little bit more, 22. Okay, and then I think we can just center this whole thing. So I'm just holding Shift and dragging it. And then let's see if we can center it in the middle. Oh, holding Shift and just dragging it up. And I'm just gonna hit center. Okay, perfect, this is fine. Again, it doesn't really have to be perfect because this, things usually change anyways when we actually get to the real world building part of it. But yeah, this is just what it looks like right now. I'm gonna push this a little bit farther down, and this as well, maybe. Yeah, okay, sure, why not? Yeah, it's okay to have like a general idea and then change things as you figure out with the implementation. I think when I first started designing mobile apps, I would, design things like the chat screen, and I would find that when you like actually have to use the app, you know, like, okay, you click on a field and it's an input field and you're trying to type things in. Well, you have to account for the fact that the keyboard, you know, has to show up. Like that kind of stuff you don't really think about when you're designing, and it comes up more when you're actually building it. So yeah, I'm happy with that for the onboarding for right now. Now that you guys have a good idea of what my reference process actually is like, I'm just gonna go ahead and switch to my actual Figma file where I designed the whole app. So let me start here with the chat the chat screen. So this is the main page of the app. As soon as you log in or register, this is what you're gonna open up to. This is your home screen. So let me talk a little bit about what's on here. So we have a nice little like short welcome message. This is going to open up our drawer navigation, which I'll get to showing you in a little bit. And in the middle, I essentially have this screen. Now, the reason that I have this giant white blob in the background is because if you look, if you look at what the screen looks like without it, you can see there's a lot of white space, and it looks kind of weird, or at least to me, I feel like there's not much going on here and there's not much going on here, but adding more would just clutter the page. So an easy way to like stick to keeping it minimal but also not have it look flat or boring is to add some graphic in the background that's like really nice and subtle. So I like this specifically for that. I think it really like adds to the vibe and the mood of the app. So this right here is like maybe a nice little memo of like, okay, this is what you had previously, like your most recent memory. This is our like main tagline question of the app. Okay, what do you want to remember, right? So that is front and center. And then I have essentially what I want with this is for it to be like a rolling carousel of different screens. So if you click on this one, you can view the memory graph. If you click on this one, you can view like a list of your recent memories, so on and so forth. There's a lot of potential with that design. Again, if you look at the colors, there's not a lot going on in terms of like bright or nice and vibrant colors. It's a lot more muted. And I think that makes sense, especially for this use case, for it to be more calming. Yeah, so in the bottom, we have a little chat bubble. This is like your input box. I think this design is good as well because it sticks to that like familiar feeling of having your input all the way at the bottom. Yeah, so that's the first page done. All right, we have our placeholder text, which is like, okay, create a new memory. And then at the right, we have the microphone button. So if we move on, if we click on this bottom page and then we start typing some things up and we have our keyboard, this is what that's gonna look like. So everything will get moved a little bit to the top and we won't see this carousel anymore. And the circle will also disappear. That's the vision that I was going for. And the icon shifts into this nice little send button, again, to give you like visual confirmation. Now the drawer navigation, when that opens up, you're gonna get, okay, some information about yourself, and then the different pages. So we have chat, we have an ability to view the memories. There should be like list view and the memory graph itself, and then a profile page, settings, and then this is just some place-ordered things, so things like help and support. At the bottom, this is just for like developer view, like the version of the app. Okay, the next part, I wanted to visualize what an actual active conversation would look like. Now, when I designed the app, this is really what I thought it was gonna be. You know, I thought it was gonna be that you send the text and it looks this way, and then ends up looking this way. Now, I'm gonna insert a screen recording of what it looked like after development. And I really want to show you guys like that the design like evolves as you keep going. Like it definitely does not stay the same from design to development. I think during development you notice a lot of different quirks about your app, and then you decide to change some things. So yeah, initially I believed that this would be a good design, but I think again the white space made it really hard to connect with, and then I ended up changing some things in the actual development process. Now this is the voice thing. I think I stayed pretty consistent. I wanted to implement a voice blob in the middle, but I didn't really get a good way to do that, but I definitely want to explore that a little bit more. In the design I wanted like sort of like an animating like glob that keeps moving around and like shifting, and I wanted like a live transcription. So I got this part down. This was a little bit harder, so I tabled it, but we can definitely like approach that in this series. Again, it sticks to that same thing. The only thing is that this voice button is like pulsating, and it also has an accent color, again signifying that it is a little bit different compared to the normal typed in input. Now, as for the list view, This is what that ended up looking like, in my design process at least. I think I wanted it to be ordered by the date, which I did keep. I did not color the backgrounds like this. Again, I'll insert a screen recording of what my developed list view looked like, and this is what I settled on. Search as well, I kind of changed that around a little bit. I moved it to the top. But yeah, again, these things, they shift. Yeah. And then the node graph, I actually had no clue how to go about designing something like that. So I went, instead of, which I actually don't appreciate, I feel like I should have thought more about the design or been more focused, but I just went straight into developing it because I wasn't sure what limitations I would face using D3. But yeah, I just developed it, and then as I went through it, I sort of like went back to the color scheme and picked out what I think looked good. And I sort of designed while I was developing. Again, usually it's really nice to have a reference because it's way easier to build based off of reference. But yeah, I think the most important screen would be the chat screen. And that's why it really starts with like having your main screen developed first and then building off of that. If you guys want to keep following the series, the next video is all about setting up the React Native project and starting to build these designs to life. But even on its own, I hope this helped you understand a clean, practical way to approach product design. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.